Hi, folks. I'm Nikki Adamson. I run Hustle Hunters. I wanted to share a little bit of what to expect in a partnership together with our team. You can see all here on the stairs. So, first, we're going to get started, right? That looks like getting our paperwork signed. We have a comprehensive kickoff call. We really want to understand, like, what makes your team tick? What are those kind of unique things about y'all? What is the impact this role is going to make? We do that also with an intake form that your team will fill out, especially getting at the soft skills that are needed here, as we know that's where the best builders come from, is aligning on that. We'll help you finalize the job description, finalize your hiring process. So if you've got that already, awesome. If not, really no sweat. Most folks come to us without those things lined up. And regardless, we're always going to give our insights based on all the work we've done over the past 4 years. We're going to want to communicate with y'all, right? We're a very true partner. We're going to set up weekly Zoom calls. We're going to talk on Slack asynchronously because we know you probably need to hire last month. And we're going to make sure that we're sharing candidate notes pretty consistently there. Our approach to candidate outreach, like once we've got all that stuff scoped and we're ready to go, we're going to be real transparent with the folks that we reach out to, very personalized. It's so common that we hear candidates say, well, I don't really respond to recruiters, but now I'm talking to you. Um, so, especially as a small startup, we know it's so important that because folks aren't just going to see your role opening organically, or many of the best folks are not. So, it's important that we get to build trust and actually invite them into that conversation. And within that, we need to make sure that it's also on brand with your business, right? So we recognize that we're the first touch point that these candidates are getting about your entire company that they might be joining. We don't take that lightly. So we're never just going to like reach out to candidates without knowing who you are, what your ethos is, kind of what your brand tone is, kind of that talent branding side of it. And then, especially within historically excluded candidate communities, the ones that we center, it's so important that we take some time to think about transparency and personalization as a critical step to building trust and really diversifying our talent pipelines. So once we've got some folks on our calendar, we're going to screen them. So again, we're doing all this work in the back end. We're going to think about the core qualities that we've aligned with your team. So that's looking at hard skills and experience, culture, values, and impact. This is where we spend a lot of our time thinking about those soft skills to make sure that the builders you bring on today are going to be the builders that are going to help you thrive in 3 months, in 6 months, and in 12 months, and that we don't over index towards hard skills. We're also going to talk about logistics. We're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about timeline because all of this stuff really matters. And this is what a lot of the hiring processes come down to. So we're going to submit candidates to your team, only really curated ones, only about 34% of the folks that we screen that are good on paper. Actually, do we find align with what your team ethos is about? And we'll kind of figure out 5 or 6 core components that we're really going to think about. And we score this based on a rubric, and we'll submit this information either into your applicant tracking system or in a spreadsheet that we build out to make sure that you have access to kind of like keep everything organized. Definitely high curation shop. We want to make sure that everyone we're submitting is really worth your time. And then in terms of candidate communication and care, this is where the difference between bringing on this great builder that we all love and losing them to another team really comes into play. So it takes consistent communication, a lot of scheduling and logistics work. We're going to do all that for you. Y'all spend the time in the interviews with your candidates. It's so important that you get to know them, that you evaluate based on what's important. But we'll do that back end work. We're going to back channel, build trust with the candidates, take away that power dynamic, right? They can ask us questions that are important to them that they might not feel comfortable asking their future boss. So we'll make sure that we get all this information so that we can help set y'all up for success. As well as providing comprehensive references. We use a tool called Searchlight. We map that to our original intake form to make sure that you get, for instance, if you need someone with a bias towards speed as opposed to perfection, and all the references come back saying this person's got a really strong bias towards perfection, let's have that conversation, right? We want to make sure that you're uncovering all of the signals that you can get there. And our process has led to a really high acceptance rate that we're very proud of. This is our broader process, but in general, not a ton of work that your team needs to do there. Really just be ready for the interviews and give us feedback. Once we get going, we can kind of run from there. And kind of our quick ethos here is that startups need hiring solutions that are innovative, right? Old corporate practices are not going to succeed here. And we've spent the last 4 years building and iterating with dozens of startups to make sure that we understand what it takes to really build. And kind of our core ethos and why we're here, our mission is that we know that innovation comes out of the startup space. So that means that for innovation to serve all folks, we need diverse startup teams that represent all people. So we want to make sure that we can be your partner. Reach out to us if you have any questions about this process. Bye.